Hello and welcome back to the Not the Old Firm YouTube channel. My name is Ben Banks. Today we've got an exclusive interview for you, this time with former Motherwell defender Ben Heneghan, currently at AFC Wimbledon in League One in the EFL. Ben talks to us a bit about his time at Motherwell, how it came about, his initial move from Chester to Fir Park with another former Motherwell player still currently in the Premiership. A bit about how he found his season at Fir Park. He was only there for a year, but made a massive impact, eventually netting the club a big fee when he moved to Sheffield United a few seasons ago now. But he thoroughly enjoyed his time there under Mark McGee, before then a short spell under Stephen Robinson. Good for his career, and he speaks a bit about why that was good for his development in his professional football career, taking that step from Chester in the National League to Fir Park in the Scottish Premiership. And now a bit about what he's doing in League One with AFC Wimbledon and how that season's going, especially with all the current restrictions we are currently under, being a bit more affected than other players caught in free agency and left without a game of football for over 8 months. So plenty of interesting stuff to talk about. Thanks again to Ben for his participation in this. If you do enjoy these types of videos, remember to like our channel, subscribe to our channel, and we'll have plenty more of this coming as well over the busy period. Usual Premiership reviews and previews, as well as a couple of extra different videos as we head into the new year, and as well as the transfer window. So stay tuned for all of that. That's all the boring PR stuff from me. I'll leave you with my chat with Ben. Please do remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, take it easy. Okay. Yeah. How's this sort of season been for you? Because I know free agency's been a bit of a thing for a lot of players this year, and I know you sort of get caught in a wee bit of it.
Yeah, like I've said to most people when they've asked this question, kind of thought being a free agent would help you get a club sooner, really, with obviously the financial problems and stuff ongoing. But it turned out to be the other way. So luckily, I got myself sorted at Wimbledon, and I'm loving it, to be honest. I'm enjoying playing football again. So I think I had a spell of, I think it was like 8.5 months without playing, obviously with what was going on in the world. So that was tough to come around. And I know there's a lot of lads out there now, friends, past players, whatever, from League One, Two, Champ, Prem, who still haven't got a club. So count myself lucky, really, to have something sorted.
I know, because I was sort of thinking that, because when I looked to see if when you made your debut, sort of went 8.5 months out and then just went straight into the starting 11 again.
Yeah, I've gone in and hopefully I stay in. But no, like I say, I'm just happy to be playing now. The more games I play, the sharper, the better I become. So it's just about consistency, really, for myself, and trying to pass my knowledge on to the lads in the team, because it's quite a young squad. I think the average age is around 23. So I am I am probably one of the most experienced ones in the side. So I'm just going to give my all for it and pass on any knowledge I can and help the lads in any way, shape or form.
Must be an odd one for you, but because for you to say you're one of the experienced players, you're not exactly over the hill yet yourself, but to already be sort of heading towards that age must be odd.
Yeah, no. Well, obviously I'm not old, but at this place it just seemed like, I don't know, like I say, it's just the experience factor, really. Well, it's a good group. Got some bright talent coming through as well, so it's exciting. And just on a whole, as the club moving back to Plough Lane, we're just looking forward to getting the fans back now, really. But whenever that will be.
Using Tier 3 then, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's in Tier 3. I think that starts on Saturday. So, to be honest, I've just lost track with it all. Like, there's been that many things said, which it's just gone overboard, really. So, as long as I can go to train, do my bit and play games, that's me. I'm sound.
You must. Obviously, it's probably right in saying it's your longest spell out with a club and stuff in terms of being in free agency and stuff. But when it was in that period, it was just completely bonkers, because it was same up here. There was no real clarity on what was happening, especially sort of League One, League Two level, because there was a lot of talk about perhaps the seasons being just canned.
Yeah, it was difficult, really, because obviously everyone wanted to carry it on, but we can understand in a way why the leagues finished like they did. But then it is the frustrating part of, you could have picked up a run and got in them playoffs positions. So it was frustrating in that fact, but this has never happened before, has it? So we can't really go too harsh on the people who've made all these decisions because it's uncertain. Like there was no guidelines with it.
Yeah, obviously up here in Scotland, most fondly remembered for your time at Motherwell, and I don't actually think you've spent overly long in the grand scheme of things here, but certainly made an impact at Motherwell, and it's obviously had a positive impact on your career.
Yeah, definitely. Like when I was at Chester and I got the call that obviously Motherwell was interested in me, the opportunity, obviously looked into it, and it was just a no-brainer for me to go up there, hopefully get in that team, which I did straight away. I think I played more or less every game, to be honest. Maybe I was suspended for one, maybe. But apart from that, played every game, and I absolutely loved my time up there. Great set of lads, great club, like a family feel. And I just enjoyed my time.
And was it Mark McGee that brought you in? That seems so strange saying Mark McGee because Robinson's been there for so long now, but Mark McGee brought you in, yeah?
Yeah, Mark McGee brought me in. I went and met him when he was on international duty. Went up there with my agent and another lad, Richard Tate, who signed at the time. He's with my agency. Nice. So yeah, first time I met Tate. We went up together, had a chat with the manager and stuff, and yeah, we both got bought into the project of it, and both went there. And on my terms, I can say I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I know he did.
It's been a way. I was speaking to him last week actually. Before obviously you'd have watched him last night. Beating Rangers in the cup. And
3-2, wasn't it?
It was crazy. I was sitting in the stand watching him. I couldn't believe he was up in the box for a header. Never mind getting in the act for the winner. But he was sort of one that he only just left Mull in the summer, over 100 appearances. There was a few years that summer that sort of came in. It was it's always a turbulent summer at that sort of level, but that season more than most.
Yes, like I say, just to go up there, and it was obviously a step up for me, which I was excited about. So, and I think I kind of just adapted to that straight away. Helped me having Stephen McManus next to me, obviously what he's done in the game. So to learn from him was massive for my development, really, and really helped me kick on. And obviously I have my own attributes which are shown up there, and I got my move from obviously Motherwell down to Sheffield.
Because that's sort of the big thing Mull try and sell to players, especially coming down south, is that sort of here's what X, Y, and Z did. You can do similar, and obviously you're now one of those players they probably try and sell to other folk coming down here.
Yeah, like I say, it was just a massive accomplishment for myself, really. Like to go there and move on so quickly, because in my head I didn't think it would happen that quick. But like I say, I played every game, played on the good side, and yeah, I progressed, and I've seen it happen with a lot more players. Louis Maltz, Cedric Kipra. So it shows that you go up there, you get your head down, you work hard, you can get you another opportunity. And it's shown with David Turnbull now, who's obviously gone to Celtic. And they've still got some great players at Motherwell, which I think will do well in the future.
Yeah,
like Alan Campbell, who's doing really well at the minute.
Yeah, he was only just coming into the team, I think, at that point there. But even back then, I think it was still, you heard all the stories, first win in the gym, last one out, and things like that. Like his work rate's just crazy.
Yeah, it's like I say, if people put the mind into it, do it right, first in, last out, like I say, gym, it only can stand you in good stead to move on and progress in the game. Like if you put your all into it, I don't think you'll have any problems.
It's the usual question that folk coming down to Scotland get asked about coming from England. Did you know much about sort of teams like Mull? Obviously Celtic and Rangers are the household names, but Mull sometimes perhaps can go a wee bit amiss.
Yeah, I can't say I did know a lot, to be honest. Like I say, it's Celtic and Rangers. But obviously, once I knew I was going, did my research and stuff, and once you go up there and you play the games, you realise it's a lot bigger than what people down south actually make it out to be, and the standard is a lot better. So, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a real good learning curve for myself.
Would your debut have been in that League Cup game against Rangers at Fir Park, or were you after that?
No, I think that would have been my competitive debut. Yeah, it was.
Because that was I can mind that game sort of being, because there was a lot of new guys in that team at that time, and it was Rangers had obviously just came back up after Motherwell kept them down a season. It was it was quite fiery, that one.
Yeah, it was a big build up to that one actually. So
Yeah,
it was good to obviously being your first competitive game. It's almost not thrown in at the deep end, but you get where I'm going with that. So yeah, it was brilliant. Loved it.
Because there's not many, but there's still a few players there like Barry Maguire. Obviously, Keith Lasley's still there in an assistant role. It seemed to be, even though perhaps the season only really kicked on, I'd say probably after January time. I'll speak about that in a wee bit. There was a few decent players in that group.
Yeah, some great players. Obviously, we had Laz, like you say, great guy, leader, Stephen Hamill, Stephen McManus. So there was that experience there that pushed the young lads on. Obviously, Louis Moult was scoring. I'd Tatey next to me on the right. So it was a great group. And obviously, the likes of Marvin Johnson was there at the start, and he moved on. So the club has a great profile at bringing players in, pushing them on, making them better players. And then it's down to the lads to do the business on the pitch. But it has all the aspects to push players on, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It gives players that platform that, because obviously up here you can't, it's not like maybe 10 years ago or so where you could sort of compete with championship clubs. It's very much sort of National League, League 2 level is sort of where you're going to be looking for players, and you obviously stood out at Chester enough to get your move up here.
Yeah, and when I went up there, I think it was when, I don't know if it was when Stephen Robson actually come in, he was saying, like, it's not just going to be given to you where you have to work hard to get your opportunities, and once you've worked hard, then that is your pathway to moving on. So I really think it did help with the club's, how can I say this? The club's framework of you have to work. It wasn't easy. You know what I mean? They made us work in week in, week out in training. We'd go through the shape before you even kicked the ball in the mornings and stuff like that. So everyone knew the role, and it just, I don't know, it's had a great feel like, and I think that helped a lot of us and the understandings of the game really. So whether that being you was out of position by 1-2 yards, but coming to a Saturday and then you realised all that work you put in has just worked. That just makes it so much better, sweeter.
I'm glad he says all that to you instead of just saying it to us in a press conference every Friday. But obviously that season, well, had good players. It didn't obviously come out its difficulties, sort of, especially around the February time when McGee went. How did you sort of find that? Because from memory, it got pretty volatile pretty quickly around that.
Yeah, it wasn't great. No one wants to see the manager get sacked because, let's be honest, it's down to the players at the end of the day. The manager can make decisions and stuff, but it's the players who are out on that pitch who have got to get the results, get the points on the board. So, yeah, it wasn't nice. It was a horrible feeling. And to hear, obviously, most footballers, managers, we get abuse from fans, don't we? Like, if things aren't going right, we get that. And that's just part of the game, which we have to take. But it's not nice to see someone who's brought you in to almost get that behaviour towards him. So obviously once the inevitable happened where he was released to his duty, obviously all the lads messaged him and spoke to him. He come in and spoke to us. So it was just difficult really. And then obviously Robbo come in and put his touch on things. And then I suppose like whenever a new manager goes anywhere, your form picks up a bit. Everyone wants to impress. And it just kicked on from there.
Yeah, Fir Park's probably one of those places that when it's going, it sort of goes either one or two ways. If it's going well, then you'll know about it, but equally if it's going the other way, then you quickly know about it too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's just expected in football. Like the fans got behind you when times were good, and they'd let you know if it wasn't up to standard. Which I think, as a player, you've got to deal with that. Like that just comes with the pressure of it. But what I can say about Fir Park as well, there's a good mention for the groundsman because that pitch was probably one of the best I've played on. Like, really top draw.
Aye, like I don't know. You'll obviously not remember it. I don't know if you've seen pictures of it while you were at Fir Park, but literally the thing was like a sandcastle. It used to be called the sandcastle when teams came. Mull used to sort of play that to their advantage a wee bit because teams didn't really know how to play on it. But by the time you came around, Marvin Johnson, players like that, it was a bowling green, and it's arguably even better now.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. I remember it was Paul, the groundsman. He used to show me a few pictures of what it used to be like, and he's got it to this carpet. So, but nah, he was the top guy as well. And like I say, it was just like a family club. Everyone had to speak to everyone. It wasn't like, if someone was cleaning the stands, somebody ignore him, or the groundsman, kitman. Everyone was in it together, which I think that's why they've done well in the past, and hopefully in the future they do even better.
Yeah, and that's why I always think, even though there's always a high turnover of players, Alan Burrow's been there for 10, 15 years, Kitman's been there for similar amount of time, and then obviously the groundsman with a sniper on the roof if anybody walks on his park with them. Well,
you're not wrong there.
Oh, by the way, honestly, we used to do press conferences at the start of this season next to the pitch. If you went an inch close to it, honestly.
You're there
crazy, but no, he obviously does a very good job at it. But it's a very community feel club, and it's the same with the fans as well. Like it is, it's like it's in the middle of a housing estate and things like that. It's very much connected to the local community.
Yeah, and like I say, that just makes it even better. Like, because you can get everyone around you, and they always had a function on or something for the fans, past players, residents who needed even just a dinner for them. Like the club would help with that. So massive credit to that club for what they did for the players and the community.
Obviously Stephen Robinson came in and he's stayed there since. How was he with you? Was he as angry as he was on a Friday?
I think I had the nicer side of things with him. It was only it wasn't that long really while I got to work under him, but he was great with me. Like I said, it's the attention to detail, whether that be on set plays, just shape, anything, playing out from the back or whatever. Like he put his all into it, and you can say he got the rewards from that. Just missing out on the finals and stuff like that, but the club has done well under him. And how long's it been there now? Is it 4 years?
Is it 4? It'll be 4 years next year.
4 years next year, so.
Which in management and even just players and stuff, I think you're like 2 or 3 years now in the way modern.
I mean, so it is a long spell, and the club stuck by him, and he's produced for the club. So hopefully, he can do more in the future, and I'd love to see him to go to a final and win one. I think that'd be brilliant.
Because obviously it was that season that you left that they went on to the couple of finals. You left in the summer. How did that come about? It seemed you played in the League Cup games and stuff, I'm pretty sure, in the summer.
Yeah, I played in the League Cup games. I think I played a couple of games in the league. And then I'd had the interest all summer of certain clubs coming in, sniffing, saying they wanted me and stuff. So it was just waiting for basically the offer to come through. But I just stuck carrying on, like training, playing my football, and if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, I was happy there. So I never got my head turned or set down tools, if you like. I was just always on it. And then I actually went out for training that day on the transfer deadline day. Like, I was thinking, I'm just training, it's a normal week. I think it was Alan Burrows rang the gaffer and was like, what's he doing on the pitch? Like, we've had an offer, we've accepted an offer. So I was just like, just thinking nothing of it. And then I had to go to the ground. Spoke with Alan, the gaffer came later on and wished me well. I wished them well, and off I went. Like, it's weird in football how it just happens so quickly. Almost just like pack your life up and off you go.
And especially when a club, it's not like it was a wee club either. Like Sheffield United, especially at that time, sort of coming up through the divisions. Obviously, they've went into the Premier League now. Probably going from Mullow to Bramall Lane is quite something.
Yeah, it's a massive. It's a big club, isn't it? It really is. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for me there. I wasn't wasn't given the opportunity to show what I could do, which was frustrating considering they wanted me in the building in the first place. But I won't be the first or last what happens to as a player. So, like I say, it's really frustrating on my part. But then my second year, I got to go out on loan, which I just want. All you want to do as a player is play football. So I got my opportunity to go to Blackpool, and I enjoyed every second of it when I was there.
Because I think in terms of like Mull had a thing maybe in early 2010s that perhaps didn't get the money's worth for players, but your transfer especially, and it's continued under Stephen Rawlinson, seemed to be the first of Mull maybe getting worth for their players in terms of monetary value.
Yeah, and like I say, that just speaks volumes of the club. Like, they progress these players, make them better, so the club should get some money from that and rewards which they can pump back into, i.e. the stadium, the club, the academy. Because like we mentioned before, they've got some great players come through the academy, so if they can keep producing young talent like that, I'm sure they'll be making plenty more money in the future.
I know obviously it didn't work out for it. Sheffield United didn't make as many appearances as you want, but still taking experiences, considering that you pretty much went from Chester to 2 years you were at Sheffield United. I'm assuming you still probably took stuff from them.
Yeah, I suppose I did in a way. But like I've just said before, like as a player, all I want to do is play. If I was given the opportunity, I know I would have repaid the gaffer and that. But for what it's worth, it didn't happen. So it was annoying.
Aye. I can tell. Obviously, I'll know asked for you to eviscerate him or anything like that. But clearly, if it's one of them in training or something, isn't it? Like if you're training, you're putting 100% in, and then it's just you don't even feel like you're going to get selected on a Saturday. It can be frustrating.
I think the biggest thing I took from that was obviously they didn't do training. That when the lads themselves say, "I don't understand why you've not been playing," I think that kind of made me just feel like I am doing the business here in training, but for whatever reason, I wasn't picked.
Right. No. Maybe they could do with a centre back just now. Then it hasn't started so well for Sheffield.
No, it's not at all, has it? But to be fair to them lads, they was a great group. Because I suppose in football, obviously you're starting 11, always like a close knit, if you like, everyone's pally and that. But at Sheffield, that they did keep me in the group, if you like, because there was some days where I had to go and train on my own for no apparent reason. So they would always talk to me, bring me in the group and that. So fair play to them for that.
Very strange, because from the outside looking in, it looks like Sheffield United's one big family all in it together. And I suppose it has to be for them to get to where they have got, and obviously the success they had last season in the Premier League. But assuming, but happier times now that you're actually you're back playing regularly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just want to play football, progress each season, and see where the journey takes me. And got ambition, and I'll push myself as much as I can.
What's sort of the goals for Wimbledon this season? I know you're sort of stuck in 14th, is it now?
Yeah, I think like I said, we should have picked up more points than what we have done. Had a little sticky patch last few weeks, but there's still plenty of games to play for. There's a good squad, and I do think we can push up that table, that's for sure. And who knows, playoff spot may be achievable.
Yeah, there's a few like big teams in that league. Obviously, Hull dropped into and they're doing fairly well. We've got Sunderland, Portsmouth, Wigan. Obviously, aren't doing too great. Just wherever it's hammed off the park. But it's a competitive league this year.
Oh, really competitive? But it's one of them leagues where on the day anyone can beat anyone. So it's an exciting league to be in, and just want to get as many wins as we can on that board and get as many points and push up that league, which I'm sure we will do because I've got all the confidence in that squad, which we've got to push on.
For you as well, I mean, I'm assuming you're not thinking of moving away quite as quick as you did with Mull. It's nice for you as well. It's another platform for you to maybe get back to sort of championship level. You know, as you were contracted Premier League player last year technically, so maybe even back up to that level one day.
Yeah, like I say, I said before, I still think I should have had an opportunity in the championship to play games, but for whatever reason it didn't happen. So my aim is to get back there. There's no doubt in that. I back my ability, believe in myself, so I'll put all the hard work in, whether that's on the training field, in the gym, Sundays in the gym, whatever it'll be. I'll do what I've got to do to get to where I want to get to.